So which has to be clear to the project manager. What can we learn from other leaders? Also some leaders and see what we can learn from them. So let's say some leaders here, admired people in our IT industry. From small humble beginnings, he has grown Infosys to where it is today, and he had the humility to give, or to uh, empower other peoples and have other leaders take up the top position in the company. Some people stick to their positions of power and do not like to leave that, and in all his media and all his whenever he's having any opportunity to interact with media, normally we have seen he is a very humble person, and that is what comes out as his one of his key qualities. In case of Mother Teresa, we know that she had Nobel laureate service to her leper community. So the key quality that comes out here is the service attitude. She has an unflinching attitude for service, selfless service that she has rendered to society. If you look at Mahatma Gandhi, he was involved in the freedom struggle of India. Some of the principles we are aware of, non-violence. He also had the envisioning principle, which I will in the next slide. Then we know Bill Gates. He although is very well known for Windows software, but the values that he's known for would be maybe charity and social welfare. The AIDS campaign that he does, and a lot of charity that he has, the Melinda and Bill Gates Foundation, and they are doing the projects all over the world. Similarly, we know Steve Jobs, who is no longer there now, unfortunately, but he's been known for his imagination and his passion to deliver some excellent technological products. The iPad and the iPod and stuff like that have catapulted Apple Incorporated to one of the largest companies in the world today. It is already the largest in terms of market cap, and it is already, I think, 500 billion plus in market cap with 100 billion plus in cash reserves. It's all through the imaginative and passionate work that they have put together. And I don't know how many of you all know, but Steve Jobs in the history of Apple was ousted from Apple. Then he started a company called Next, and that's how Steve Jobs came back to Apple. And from there, so after like about 2 decades where the market share of Apple was hardly anything, the innovative products that through the launch of iPod and then iPad and the iPhones has made Apple a force to reckon with in the industry today. Abraham Lincoln, we know, he was responsible for stopping the slavery in the United States. He was known for his values of equality and respect. Thomas Edison, we have heard a lot of stories about his invention, the experiments that he did with the light bulb, and the number of experiments that he did and how many times he failed. And despite his failures, he kept persevering. And with each lesson, there's this famous quote about Edison which says, that each failure, he doesn't say it's a failure. He says, I know so many ways not that the light bulb will not work. So it's not just about, he doesn't take it as a failure. He says, okay, these are the so many methods that I know the light bulb will not work, and this is the method that works. So he had a perseverance. If I believe the correct figure would be some 1,000+ experiments that he did. I'm not sure of the number right now, but that's the power of perseverance, that he thought of something and he was able to achieve that, and he kept pursuing it and he was able to achieve that. Similarly, it's about the Wright brothers. If you take, Wright brothers also had the quality of perseverance. They thought they could fly, and in the early 20th century, I think 1907, if I'm not mistaken, that the first flight was taken, and that's changed the history of the aviation industry was born. Similarly, we have this religious leaders. We have so many religious leaders. They are known for their religious teachings. Basically, the value they portray is spirituality, the oneness in the world, that all living beings are equal. The source is oneness. So although they appear different, there is oneness. There is one common energy which binds all of them together. So this is spirit they talk about. Now Mahatma Gandhi is an example here. There's some learning from Mahatma Gandhi as a leader. Now there was a goal at that time that they wanted that India Indians wanted freedom from British rule. And what are the core values on which the struggle was fought? Mahatma Gandhi believed that truth shall prevail. What was the truth? That equality and respect for all people. And what were the principles that he used in his mission? Non-violence. And he continued, despite so many difficulties, he persevered with the idea. So these were the core values that kept him going. And the programs, this is the envy. Now you look at he had a vision, right? That he wants the country to be free from British rule. So what were the empowering structure, or what is he thought of some program. Now this shook the British. Now these are the programs we are going to move forward. Satyagraha, Swadeshi movement for economic independence. We are aware of, he said, okay, we'll make our own cloth. We'll not get the things from Britain. And, so they are making money from here. So we'll cut down the making our own cloth, charkha here. Yeah, so he started the charkha practice. And he's a person who led by example. So he inspired people. He led by example. That is a communication connect that he had. So not only did he visualize the what part, the how part, and he energized the people through the connection that he made. His exemplary oriented living, he walked the talk, and the passion for the goal and the compassion that he had for all living people, irrespective of any religion or caste or whatever. He treated everybody with respect and equality. That also mattered a lot. Now looking at these qualities, in 1942 there was a Quit India movement and so on and so forth. Gandhi was not the only leader, but he was one of the important leaders responsible for the freedom struggle of India. So I don't want to get into any kind of thing that was only the violence or the non-violent struggle or whatever. But in his own right, he demonstrated exemplary leadership qualities, because of which we were able to get our freedom. So we have looked at the values here, we have looked at the goal here, the what part, and we have looked at how it was achieved through some program and some other qualities like we have looked at. So to summarize, we talked about Mahatma Gandhi, we talked about Edison. So some of the traits that we can kind of make it, there could be many more traits. That's why we could have variants of the trait. But some of the traits that I have picked up here, which I think what we are going to cover today, is that leaders need to envision the goal. In the context of the project, they need to align their goals to the goals of the businesses that they are ultimately working for. The end user got a mandate to do something, the scope of the project, but how does it all fit into the envisioned goal of the end organization and how it is going to benefit the user. So what is actually required and how we are going to reach there. So it may be on paper, it may not be on paper, the scope is properly defined, not defined, the requirements may be documented, not documented. These are the challenges that come across the project manager. It is not that everything is hard coded and everything is immediately available at the beginning of the project. So the challenges are clarified as we go along. So it is not necessary that everything will be available right at the beginning. In a kind of a nutshell is known, and the details keep evolving over a period of time. Then we have looked at the passion part of the goal, right? The person should be really wanting to achieve that goal. If it loses the passion for the goal, the love to do it, be achievement, it could be something like, by doing that or a goal, you feel a sense of, I feel the benefit to the people or the stakeholders. So the passion about the goal has to be there because there will be hurdles. Like I said earlier, there are difficulties from performing his duties. People across the globe, we have people in virtual mode, we have people in physically, we can meet some people, we have some people over the internet in different time zones. The communication has to be clear and crisp. And one more important thing about communication, I think we have touched this many number of times, but it's very important, is that sometimes we send the information over email, or we have given an SMS, or we have given some information, but it is a duty of the person who is trying to communicate to ensure that the stakeholders have understood the information, right? So sometimes we assume that we have done our job, but whether the information is understood, the communication, the expectations are managed, because many a times it is about perception. So perceptions have to be managed all throughout the project, because, and some studies say that the communication forms 80% of the work of the project manager. That may not be false, that may be actually true. So communication is ongoing. It's not just about the communication plan, or who is on the for in the sign off. Of course, those are important things as well. You need sign off from the customer, you need sign off the requirements. The processes are important, but the main key here is that if you are focusing on the outcome, then you have to look from the communication also from the outcome perspective, whether what I'm communicating is helping me achieve the outcome. Some of the important stakeholders, have they really understood, or have the expectations been managed? By just sending the information or just communicating to them, have they fully accepted what we are saying? Or if there is a cause for alarm, or there's a concern somewhere, is there some risks which are coming up, have they been properly understood? And where is the buy-in is there? Now we can analyzing the ongoing communication during the project. Then we are also looking at the situations, because the situations keep changing. Sometimes the customer may have the requirements may change in between. There may be some new things. The team composition may change. Some of the critical resources may not be available, and there could be several. There could be a organizational change. So we have to keep adapting to the situation. Saw the values that were so dear to him. Even when India was getting partitioned, and he was very sad, and he wanted all the communities to think, come together to cut down the violence in the country. He didn't want any violence. It should be all peaceful. So he always lived with the values, and he respect and equality of people. So now we'll move on further. I hope I'm able to communicate with people out here, because I'm not getting, I don't really know in this medium that what is going on at the other end. So I'm just communicating. I have prepared, and we'll take up the questions towards the end of the session. We put on the chat window, and it's already started questions from you all, and questions you can feel free to key them in.